Alright guys, I'm back. I try to go live, but for some reason it says that I'm not meeting their requirements to be able to go live, so unfortunately I gotta shoot these videos in segments. I'm gonna work it out, but anyways, back to these new Tekno gear diffs, O-rings, new diff case, and all that. Um, I've cleaned everything out. The new shims, they show a little bit of, wear and rub, but I'm sure that's, typical. But the shims still look like they're holding their shape really, really well. These are the O-rings here, which I've cleaned them out. I'm gonna lube them up and put them back in. The out drives are still looking pretty decent. The new diff cups, they seem to be holding up really, really well. Um, Seems like everything is broken in so far. Here are the new gears. Again, the 10-tooth bevels and the 20-tooth sun gears. I don't see no deformities or anything on them. They seem to be fully broken in. I'm also using Tekno's lightweight cross pins. Highly recommend these. I still have to do them in the rear. The third, I only ordered two basically, so I'm gonna hold it sideways. I'm sorry. I know some of you guys like it like this. So, these came in. It comes in as a whole set when you order these. So I managed to do the front and the center. I still got to go replace the rear and redo those, also. But just want to show you guys real quick. These differentials are holding up real well. Um, I'm gonna be using 20K oils in them. Um, and I'm gonna be showing you guys how it goes. Um, just give me a moment. I'm gonna try to set up this camera as best as I can sideways, okay, and so I can be able to show you guys what I'm doing here, okay. All right, so this thing goes together as normal, basically. We put the bevel gears into the lightweight out drive cross pins. I like to get those done first. I pretty much I like to build everything, get it as ready to go, so everything pretty much just drops right in. Um, the bearings and everything goes together pretty, typical. It's nothing like, revolutionary or evolutionary here. Um, the gaskets, I definitely got to go get a new gasket, but they're still holding up fine. I got a little tear here, actually, that I just noticed. Should be able to hold up for at least one more race, though. Um, but I'm gonna get all these parts in. I usually use the green slime. I don't have any right now for the O-rings. A little trick I do is I'll just put some diff oil in there, and as you can see, just rub it in there really, really well. I'm liberal with mine. I put a decent amount. And then once I put in this the out drive, okay, then I'm gonna put in the gasket. Excuse me. Some people use some grease also with the gaskets. I'll usually just grab an X-Acto knife, just line it up really well. Then next comes the little pins, which again still goes the same, but I forgot. This is where these new shims go in first, obviously. I'll line them up. I usually square them up and center them once I get the sun gear inside of the diff. The only way you can do this the right way, I would say, I would leave it like this. This is a pretty cool gear. I really like how it's feeling so far. Um, it's really feeling. It was a little bit notchy, but I guess all brand new diffs take a while for it to fit in. Um, it's a little bit thick, but I prefer this one over a lighter one. I guess it'll hold up better. Um, so once it broke in, we had two qualifiers, two, what is it, 5 or 7 minute qualifiers. Um, you could definitely feel the difference from when the main event started. When the mains started, it just finally felt like they were starting to break in fully. So here's something important. So these shims, I've tried to explain it to my friends, to all the great people there on the Tekno RC ET482.0 Facebook page. So they've asked me, these teeth have to face upwards in here, okay? And then on the other gear, they face downwards, so it kind of sits like this. But for the inside, you pretty much just fit them right into these slots in here, okay? Then you'll take, where's my wrench set? Just use a hex wrench. Make sure everything's pressed in there really well, okay? And usually I'll try to line up the holes with one of these right here, so it kind of makes it easier to get these cross pins in there pretty well. Let me see, usually it's a straight shot. Yep, there you go. All right. And then the sun gear pretty much drops in pretty simple. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. I've been wanting to do this for so long. I'm gonna go invest, like I said, in a Hero GoPro. Something I could at least put up to my head, where I don't have to manipulate the cameras in funny ways. And I got so many plans, as far as even going to races for you guys to see how well I become, things that I learned. From watching a lot of other great YouTubers like Ryan Harris, even watching JQ's videos. It really does help racers like myself who are not at the pro level but have been doing this a long time, or to even beginners. And it allows me to help and want to show you guys in the same fashion and or do something different. So we'll be doing new product reviews, how-tos, assemblies, and on-track performance, on and off bench racing. So what I like to do is I like to get these first gears in, right? And then I'll already start to put some oil in here and spin it around as I go. I even get it, behind. This way it kind of seats in already. You don't have to, um, keep spinning and spinning to get everything to work. Kind of work that in there. Okay, and I really like these new out drives. The lightweight cross pins. It's amazing how much of a difference you could feel. So once you get these all sitting in, you see how you can get the oil already starting to look like they're very much well in there. And I usually put enough oil just to go flush with the gears. Okay. So they look pretty flush at this point, excuse me. All right. So what I'll do at this point, I'll pick up the camera here. I'm gonna put a little bit more oil in here. Actually, it looks about right. So from here on out, because of these little teeth that stick out, you have to find a way to get it so it sits pretty square onto these Uh, doesn't really matter as long as these teeth are facing outward, so it goes down on the gears. But you can line them up anyway. So I'll usually drop. Oops, that sucked. Lost a little bit of oil. And thank you guys for being patient with me here. But I haven't seen nobody, really post these new gears up, and I'm excited about this to share with you guys. So bear with me. So I'm gonna get this in here. What you want to do is drop it in there. See, it fits nice and square. And then I'm gonna drop this again, this phone, put it down so I can show you guys what I do. So what I'll do is I'll take and I'll make sure this cross pin is as even with the teeth of these shims, and I'll try to make sure it's as close to center from hole to hole on each side. Okay, and then even on, the teeth here, I will spin the gears to make sure that it's lined up perfect. Okay, and then what I'll do, drop them in, just like so. Get the holes aligned. Okay. Then from here on out, I can drop my screws in. I'm gonna have to put this phone again like this. So sorry guys, but thank you so much for bearing with me. Let me see here. Kind of fell out for a second there. Gotta start from somewhere. Alright. So I'm gonna make sure that, always try to make sure that the gaskets are sitting super flush and even with the holes. Alright? If you don't, you're gonna be in a world of trouble. So I'm gonna get one of the screws in already. Okay. And again, I gotta line it up. Gotta make sure. Again, just move over these teeth. It takes a little while to get used to. This is my system now, and eventually, I'm sure I'll work and find an easier system to go in. But it's not hard at all. Let's see. Okay. All the way in. I don't do the screws all the way down. I do it just enough where I know everything is aligned, and these screws pretty much hold them in place. Okay, like so. Always go as a cross in a cross pattern. For anybody who's new, you never go round and round and round. You go one side to the next side, to one side to the next side. Therefore, it ensures that everything sits even. So, pretty much I'll go about 95% all the way in, and then I'll screw the rest to make sure it's tight and secure. What these new shims, O-rings, and diffs do is, even with the gear case, it creates basically a tighter resistance. Not letting the diffs diff out. Those shims actually keep them from like floating around. So this is basically it. Get them nice and snug, never over tighten, because man, it'll wreak havoc on your diffs. Um, can even create a lot of binding. And I hope that's not what happened here. I just want to make sure. Just snug. You don't want to go in too much. It's not a good look. Okay, boom. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Nice and heavy a little bit, but it's going to break in once I run the truck. So again, I'm going back to the heavier diff and stock diff, and it does feel heavier, but it'll wear in. Okay, guys. So that's it. I'm going to go in, and now I'm going to do the front, which is pretty much the same thing. Highly recommend you guys try these differentials. I'm loving them. From here, like I said, I'm just tuning. I was using 10,000 in the front, 15,000 in the center, and 8,000 in the rear. I'm actually going to keep the 8,000 in the rear, and if I feel anything, I'll go back to the 10. I was even going to try 6 and 7, but I know the thicker the oil in the center, it kind of helps improve steering. The front diff, the thicker the oil, for the most part, improves on power steering, engine overall. But you can always go too far thick, too far thin, and it'll make the truck inconsistent. So it's all about finding your fine, where it works for you. Okay. I'm a big believer in maintenance also. I'm in the middle of breaking my truck down, as you can still see. It's pretty dusty. As far as my electronics, I'm running the Tekno RX8 Gen 3. I'm running the ProTech 170 BL servo. I am loving this thing. It's a absolute powerhouse. I'm using a McLaren 40 millimeter fan. I'll tell you like this, I ran my truck for 15 minutes the other day. Took it off the track and I was still be able to touch it. It was absolutely fine. No overheating at all. Okay, so yeah, guys, thank you very much for sticking with me. Thank you for being patient. Please like, share, and subscribe. I promise things will get better. Just as far as the content, we're gonna be having a lot of fun. We're gonna do a lot of track time and things that I find, and learning how to do better lines and sharing it with you guys. Anything new that comes out for Tekno RC, and I do bashing also, especially with the low C LMT and the Super Baja Ray 2.0 truck. Can't wait to share those with you guys to show you how amazing they are and the things that I've learned. But for now, I'm just focused on the racing side of things, and we'll go on from there. I really appreciate you guys. This is Race Haven RC. This is your boy Bat. See you on the next. God bless, guys. Hope this helps.